Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon, and today we're doing an IRL deck list. It's been a while since I've done one of these in real life, but because the Fates Collide stuff is coming around, you're going to be seeing me in person quite a bit more in the next upcoming days and weeks, so hopefully you enjoy these. I know some people prefer IRL deck lists to the PTCGO, so hopefully this caters towards you. Today we are looking at a very fun rogue deck in the expanded format. I came up with this deck maybe about a month ago. It was based off of a good friend, Charlie Powell. He played this a few months before Puzzle of Time came out, where the deck, it still used the main attacker, but it was very different to how it looks now. And I gave this list actually to another good friend of mine, Ross Gillbert. You may know him from PTCG Radio. He does a weekly podcast about Pokemon. If you don't know him, check him out. I'll leave a link in the description to his SoundCloud. He basically does a radio pod each week, so check that out. He's a really cool guy. And he top 8'd with this deck in a recent regionals, so it's had moderate success, even though it was piloted by literally one person. And yeah, he didn't lose a single game in Swiss, so he was undefeated, but he didn't lose a single game, like in any of his rounds, so it's a very good deck. And he unfortunately lost due to dead draw in top 8. It was a matchup where he really should have won, and it went to game 3. It went to time in game 3. This deck does struggle with time in Top Cut, because if it's a full game, he would have easily won the game, like I can guarantee it, but because of time constraints, he didn't win the game. He just didn't take enough prizes because he missed a coin flip, but I'll let him tell you about his day on his radio show, so listen to that. But yeah, Quad Regirock, it's kind of a brainchild of mine. It's a really awesome deck, and it's just a super cool concept. I just can't wait to show you and talk about this. So for Wobbuffet, Wobbuffet is literally just to sit in the active position like it does in Groudon. Bide Barricade slows down the opponent. All we're trying to do is stall turns while we set up a big old Regirock on the bench. So Wobbuffet is perfect for that. Single prize that we're losing, stopping abilities to slow down the opponent. Very simple stuff, really. And then for Regirock, that is the only other Pokemon in the deck. So 4 Ors of both of these. And Regirock, this is the XY 49 promo Regirock. And it has the Omega Barrier trait, very similar, in fact it's exact to Primal Groudon, and this is why we base the deck around this card. He can't be Crushing Hammered, Enhanced Hammered, Flare Grunted, Zerosicked, Lysandred off the bench, and you can't deal with tools either, so you can't Zerosic away Focus Sash. And the whole idea of this deck is we're going to chain Focus Sash on a Regirock, so your opponent never takes a prize on these guys. So he has 2 attacks. The first one is Landmaker for a single fighting. It allows you to get 2 stadiums from your discard pile, put them into the hand. You will pretty much never use this. It's extremely niche situations where you'll ever use this Landmaker attack, maybe to recover Tropical Beach if your hand is completely dead. Other than that, you'll never use that attack. You only ever send Regirock into the active position when you're ready to use his second attack for 4 energy, which is Stone Edge, and that does 80 damage. Sounds really weak. On a coin flip, we get to do plus 40, so that's 120 if we flip heads. But bear in mind, we are a fighting type, so we can benefit from strong energy. And with such a high energy cost, you can assume most of the time Regirock is going to have 2 strong energy on him, so that becomes Stone Edge is 120. So now we're 2-shotting EXs comfortably, 2-shotting Mega Pokemon, and we're threatening most non-EXs. We can deal with stuff like Vespiquen, I guess, Flareon, Night March, all of these things in one hit. So Regirock, assuming we're taking 2-hit knockouts on EXs and 1-hit knockouts on most non-EX Pokemon. Obviously there's exceptions like Baby Yveltal, stuff like that, but Regirock, you can assume he's 2-shotting things. And then Focus Sash on this guy, so your opponent can only ever take him down to 10 HP, and from there, that's where the strategy really evolves. The whole idea of the deck is to scramble switch around Regirocks. So one gets set up with 4 energy. You're going to scramble switch with a new Focus Sash, scramble switch again with a new Focus Sash, scramble switch again with a new Focus Sash. So each time we're getting this 80 or 120, well, 120 to 160 if you flip heads, I guess, assuming there's 2 strong energy on. Each turn you're doing that, and then you're denying the prize by using scramble switch or healing cards. Very simple stuff. Regirock gets into pretty much an infinite loop, and it's really, really powerful. And unless a deck has very specific ways of getting around Regirock, your opponent is really stuck. They can't do anything. So very, very cool loop, and it's all based around Regirock thanks to his Omega Barrier trait. So here is another huge card in the deck, Scramble Switch. We Scramble Switch around Regirocks. This is how we keep our energy on the board and keep Regirock from ever dying. Very simple stuff. Because of course we have Puzzle of Time now, we can use Scramble Switch 3 times per game. That's insane. It's just the nuts. So we're playing a town map. I've played this without town map, and whenever Scramble's prized, we lose games. So we need to town map, take a prize or 2 prizes once we've used town map, get Scramble out, we tank a hit with Sash, and never fear, we have Scramble Switch from then on. So very specific, but the deck can wait a lot of turns until we hit town map, and we have stuff like Korrina to search out town map when we know Scramble's prized. So we need this card to not lose games with awkward prizes. One Escape Rope. Escape Rope is another switching card. We only play, well, we play a couple of supporter switching cards, and we play a couple of item cards. We have Scramble, of course, we have Escape Rope, and we have Floatstone, so we have a lot of switching options. We need to move out of Regirock in the opening turns. He has a retreat cost of 3, so he's kind of chunky. Also, when we're ready to move out of Wobbuffet, we need a way to switch. So Escape Rope is one way that we can do that. The reason why it's a rope rather than a switch is because of stuff like Jolty on EX. We want to gust that out of the active so we can rope Lysandre or something like that to deal with it. Pretty simple. Super Potion is another important one of. It's similar to Scramble Switch in its importance, even though it's just a Super Potion, and we rarely ever see this card ever be played. But Super Potion, similar to Scramble Switch, allows us to get another turn of Cycle on the Regirock. It heals 60 and removes an energy from our Pokemon, so the majority of the time you're not actually going to have 4 energy on this Regirock, but you're going to have 5 on him. So you can go Super Potion, discard an energy, Puzzle, Super Potion, discard an energy, attach energy for turn, attack. That way we can even reattach Sash if the Sash was popped. If the Sash wasn't popped, but we've just gone down to like 20 HP or something like that, we still need to double Potion. We don't need to reattach the Sash. But what I'm trying to say is it works very similarly to Scramble Switch in that we can keep Regirock alive, keep the majority of energy on him, so that we can keep attacking with Stone Edge. It's important to keep 5 on Regirocks, in my opinion, if you're able, because then you can do double Potion plays, or you can do Potion plus something like Olympia, or what's it called, Pokemon Center Lady, which we also play, to heal the Regirock fully and keep attacking. It's a huge Wombo combo in the deck. Super Potion is another card that we will often target with Puzzle of Time. One Professor's Letter. The deck functions very similarly to Groudon, where turns sort of 1, 2, 3, 4. All you need to do is hit energy on your Regirock, keep powering him up. Simple stuff. Professor's Letter is a Korrina searchable way of getting energy. Ultra Ball. We only need to play 1 in here. Because a lot of the time Korrina's going to be getting robots and Regirocks, so we can always get into Regis fairly comfortably. It's only when Wobbuffet is by far the superior option instead of Robo Sub, so against stuff like Virgin, where you can't play down Robo Sub because they can Lysandre Robo Sub and then Red Signal. So you need to have Wobbuffet constantly active against Virgin. So Ultra Ball's necessary for grabbing multiple Wobs. For VS Seeker, the deck has plenty of 1-off supporters, very specific supporters as well, so we need to max this card out. Very simple stuff. It's in a bunch of decks as a 4-of, but in this deck I feel like every single resource, like every single card in this 60 card deck is a resource, so it feels like every single card is precious, and the 4 VS Seeker almost always gets used. So for Robo Sub is another way. It's 4 extra turns basically. Of course, your opponent can't Lysandre up Regirocks, so they have to go through robots. And this deck is happy to lose 5 prizes in the process if you get a perfect setup with Regirock. Like, you don't mind that at all, so you can get value out of all of these robots. It doesn't necessarily have to be the opening turns that you use robots. Oftentimes, once you've hit a Scramble Switch or you're missing pieces of the combo, you can just move out of Regirock and go back on the defensive with Robo Subs. Very good stuff for stalling extra turns. If you've been hit with like an N mid to late game and like you need to just wait until you hit your Scramble Switch again, just move out of that Regirock, hide behind robots for 2 to 3 turns while you top up your hand with stuff like Tropical Beach. Puzzle of Time. This is clearly a card that makes this deck function. It means that we can recycle. Like I was saying, Scramble Switch is the most important card. Super Potion is also an important card. Sometimes just you need extra turns, just get back robots. Every single time you do double puzzle, it has to be for Scramble. That's the only thing I'd say. So it's Scramble plus another card, be it a robot, be it a Super Potion, be it a VS Seeker, whatever you need. But it always has to be Scramble, because it's so important to Scramble 3 times. Like, you really need to. So Puzzle of Time, super important for helping us spam the Scramble Switch to move in between Regirocks. Quick little ruling. Once you play double puzzle, technically they are in play when you search your discard pile, so they are separate. So you can't get back, with 2 puzzle, you can't get back the puzzle that you played plus Scramble Switch, because that would mean you could scramble 5 times a game, which I would love to do, but you're not allowed, so don't do that. Quick side note though, if you want to insta-play 1, it's very rare that you're going to, because like I was saying, every card is a resource. Puzzle is one of the most important ones. If you want to play a puzzle and then you have double puzzle, you can get this one back to still get the 3 scrambles, even though you used 1. But I would not advise that. But it's a play you can do. Right, Floatstone, it's another way of retreating. It's probably the weakest way of retreating Regirock, because you always want to have the next card, Focus Sash, attached to him. And if you have Floatstone, you obviously can't have the Sash. But sometimes necessity calls. The Sash gets popped, you can just put Floatstone, hide on the bench until you hit Scramble Switch. Pretty good stuff. Obviously Floatstone can also work with good old Wobbuffet. So there we go. 4 Focus Sash, another cornerstone of the deck basically. This is another card that we will respam with Scramble Switch and Puzzle. This is how we win games. Very simple. Boom. Regirock Focus Sash, they can't do anything about it. So they pop the Sash and go down to 10 HP, scramble into a new thing with a Sash. Ta-da! That's how we win games, basically. So we need to max this card out, of course. Again, it's one we'll respam with Scramble Switch. Next up, we have supporters, and we have plenty of weird one-offs in here, and I'll just have to go through them one by one, I guess. So, Cassius is a card. We need to pick up Regirock sometimes. It's super painful getting rid of a 4 energy Regirock, but oftentimes in this deck you have time to set up multiple. Because you're doing this Scramble Switch combo every single time, you can have another one just chilling on the bench that you just continually manually attach to on turns 6, 7, 8. Or if the game's going longer than that, you know, you just have loads of time basically to set up Regirocks manually. So when you don't have Scramble Switch combo, or if you're out of all your scrambles and stuff, you can always just Cassius up a Regirock that is on only 10 HP, go into your next one that has 4 energy on it with a new Focus Sash, stuff like that. So Cassius is insane for that. Again, it's really important against stuff like item lock as well, because you don't have the access to stuff like Focus Sash or anything near to that. You don't have the Scramble Switch plays. You need to heal your Regirock, and fortunately Toad takes 3 punches to knock this out at all times, so we have time, and Cassius helps us out there. Next up, sorry about being Japanese, I haven't actually got my hand on this card just yet. Fortunately, I didn't have to play this at a tournament, it was Ross that did. This is Olympia. Olympia is a really awesome supporter in this deck. It's an insta-switch, and you heal 30 from yourself, so like I was saying, people try and break the Sash in different ways. They'll put you down to 10 HP with main attackers sometimes, but additionally they will try to use stuff like Sky Return and throw something random up into the active position that they don't care about dying, to force us to have stuff like Lysandre, and trying to waste our resources like the Scramble Switch. But instead we can just use Olympia, heal that 30 straight off of us, put Regirock back to the bench, discard a robot, or just go back into a Wobbuffet. You really don't care. So Olympia, also a very fantastic card. Comboing with the heal as well is a really nice bonus for us. We're also playing Center Lady, so we have plenty of healing options in this deck. Center Lady, Olympia, Cassius is like a half heal, and we have Super Potion. Plenty of ways for us to keep those Regirocks healthy, and basically ones that have been hit, we can heal the ones on the bench and then scramble into them again. Pretty simple stuff. So 3 supporter heals and a item heal is pretty cool. Right, next up, Skyla. Skyla can do half of Korrina, and most of the time after turns like 2, 3, Korrina's doing no less than what Skyla would be doing. So it's like a 5th Korrina a lot of the time. Skyla has the added benefit over Korrina of getting us into Tropical Beach, which is one of the most important cards in the deck. So Skyla's also a very nice inclusion. I'm not playing any Sycamore in here. The list that Ross might show, I think the list that I gave to Ross did play 2 Sycamore. The more and more I play this deck, the more I feel discarding any one of these cards can be really painful at any time. So this list is not playing Sycamore. So one of the switches I made was to put a Skyla in instead. And I'm really liking the Skyla. This is the other supporter that I put in for a Sycamore. Teammates. Teammates works off of Robo Sub. It works off of Wobbuffet. So in those opening turns, Teammates literally gets you exactly what you need. From Puzzle of Time to Energy to Regirock, whatever you need. Teammates can literally get it for you. So very awesome card. And again, it's one of these cards when you're in the loop, or if you have to break the loop to get your second Regirock going, your last Regirock basically, Teammates can get you those extra pieces, which is pretty cool. 2 Lysandre. The deck is only ever 2-shotting things if they're EX, so we need to be able to Lysandre these targets back up. Also, against Shaman EX, it's kind of risky against Shaman. A lot of the time we're doing 120, like I was saying earlier, with 2 strong. So we actually don't hit Shaman because of weakness. I mean, because of resistance that the Shaman has. So either we need to guarantee we have a 3rd strong energy on us, or we need to use a different stadium card. But we do have those options in the deck. And Lysandre killing Shaman is so much nicer for us than dealing like guaranteed 2 shots on other things. So we want to deal with Shaman and other EXs a lot more than non-EX cards. So double Lysandre is important. We can always just wait around until it's preferable for us with Regirock. The deck does not mind waiting around at any point in the game. It's very happy to just wait, basically. Next up, we're playing 2 Steven. Steven is another fantastic card in this deck. You've already seen how many crazy one-offs we play in this deck of different supporters. So Steven's going to be really helpful in almost any situation to get us into the right supporter for the following turn, as well as getting us energy. Like I was saying with Prof's Letter, really all you need to do is hit energy on turns 3, 4, 5. And then once you're rolling in your good old combo, Steven can help you get your second Regirock set up, which is pretty handy as well. So really happy to always see Steven. It's another great card for against stuff like Seismitoad, where you can actually set up your Regirocks with energy quite happily. Next up, we're playing 2N. Shuffle draw is important compared to discard draw. You don't want a dead draw early on, so N helps us do that. Also, it's going to disrupt the opponent if they... Normally they are going way ahead on prizes. They're going 3, 4 prizes ahead sometimes, and then they hit the brick wall at 4. They just stop taking prizes because then at that point we've hit our Regirock combo and we're starting to win the game. But until that point, N is really painful for them. And again, it's a way that we can slow them down, stop them getting combo pieces to deal with our stuff. So that's pretty important. Very important card in the deck is Korrina. You can see we just max out all the important stuff and then go for like one-offs of all the other stuff that we just need for situations. Korrina's insane. It's Regirock plus Sash, it's Regirock plus Puzzle, Regirock plus Scramble. All of these cards, really important. Gets us into Regirock and Professor's Letter in the opening turns. That's a really big combo. Gets us into Robo Sub turn after turn as well. So Korrina's just insane in this deck. So finally, for Stadium, we are playing 1 Magnetic Storm. Magnetic Storm is a stadium that we can use to remove resistance, so we can actually one-hit Shamans with just 2 strong energy. We don't have to risk the coin flip, which is important. It basically, against almost every EX Pokemon that's relevant, it does the same thing as Fighting Stadium, right? Because 120 will kill everything in 2 hits, EX-wise, even with Fighting Fury Belts. So we don't need Fighting Stadium. This is Fighting Stadium, basically, when you're dealing with Shaman, when you're dealing with Yveltal. But this gives you the added bonus of being able to hit through Baby Yveltals and hit through Trevenant. Already a very difficult matchup. You're still probably losing Trevor, but this is better than Fighting Stadium against Trevenant. So I think this is worth running over, what's it called? Fighting Stadium. Do bear in mind, though, when we are doing this 120, with the flip of heads, we do 160. So if this is Fighting Stadium, sometimes you get these random one-hit KOs. But because it's just a one-of, I don't think it's that important. You normally wait around until you're Lysandring a Shaman to play this down. Oftentimes, you're just going to hold it until that point. So There's the argument for Fighting Stadium. If you're going to play a high account, I would probably say yes, Fighting Stadium. If you play like a 2 count, because there'll be random times when you can hit that 180. But most of the time, I don't think it's relevant enough. I feel like Magnetic Storm gives us more options overall for dealing with stuff like Baby Yveltal, which would be a real pain because of their high HP plus the resistance. Getting 2 hit KOs for just a non-EX is just not good enough for Regirock. Finally, for stadiums, we are playing 3 Tropical Beach. Just like Groudon decks, we love beaching for the first like 4 or 5 turns because we're never taking prizes basically. And we're never attacking even with Wobbuffet, so we're just going to fill up our hand. It, like a supporter, keeps us consistent, keeps us drawing into energy, Regirock, whatever else we need, gets us into our combo pieces, helps us recover from N as well if it's still in play at any point in the game. Because we're playing such a high count, we can use it to replace other stadia. It's going to be really nice for topping up against when we get hit with N, because it's so important to keep our combo. If we lose the combo, we lose the game, so Tropical Beach stops that from happening. So finally, energy, pretty simple stuff. 4 strong. We always want to have strong energy on our Regirocks if possible. The ideal is to have 4 strong energy on a Regirock, to be honest, but most of the time just naturally drawing into that is difficult, so you just need to accept that most of the time it's going to be 2 to 3, sometimes 4, but it's very rare. Because we are using Scramble Switch combo though, you can go to the 4th. You can commit like every strong to 1 Regirock if you're really committed to your strategy. And finally, we're just playing 6 regular fighting. So 10 total, pretty much gets us through all games. Because we're doing this Scramble Switch combo, we just have a 10 count to really get us through all, like, enough. Obviously, we want to manually attach up to our 2nd Regirock as well. So 8 is an absolute minimum. Prizing stuff is also an issue. So I think 10 is just the safest route to go. I think it's the lowest we could go, but also probably the safest. So yeah, very simple stuff. I really do implore you to try out this deck. If people aren't playing the right things to deal with Regirock, it can just take down tournaments because people just can't deal with this combo. It's so strong, so consistent. Wow, a fucking massive B just... Oh my god, it's still on the screen. Ah! Look how scary that is. Get out of here. Okay, it's dead. Oh, it's not dead. Oh, it's pissed. Oh my god, it's really angry. I'm gonna have to go. Cheers guys for watching. Bye! Wish me luck. Hopefully I'm still alive next time.